Hi there and welcome back to Valley por Vida. Well, according to one company that polled more than 900 American adults about who taught them about about money and what financial lessons that learning was focused on, 24% of adult respondents were never really taught much. How can this be though? Well, we've got an in-depth perspective for you as well as some tips and what you can take away from all this. Take a look.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. I am Simon Zen from My Bank Tracker. I'm the Chief Research Analyst, and we recently did a survey on who taught Americans the most about money, and we had some interesting findings there. The studies, not surprisingly, found that most people said that their parents taught them the most about money. Around 39% said that. And that the most, what they took away from their parents or whoever taught them most about money was basically how to save more. And that's something we sort of would have expected, but the more interesting findings were that 26% said they had to teach themselves, and 24% said no one taught them. So if you put them together, you have about half of Americans saying there was no other person or other resource that taught them, that focused on teaching them about money. And that can have major repercussions throughout the course of life. We actually had a different survey of asking parents when they would consider starting to teach their children about money, and more around very young, around 4 or 5. And the big picture is that we need to remind them that tracking of money is very important. For the first step to solving any financial problem or seeing where you are right now so that you know where you want to go is to track your money now and seeing how your financial habits are playing out, what you can do to change it, and what areas you need to address that's causing you to maybe, you could do better spending too much in certain areas. So that's key to identifying any problems. So yeah, we spoke to college professors about how we should approach teaching personal finance when they say that economics and business courses are great, but it's not enough to get down to the nitty-gritty details of personal finance. And we're also bringing more attention to financial literacy at a younger age in schools. So even a single course in high school teaching about money is not going to be enough. We need to teach it young and continue teaching it for many years. And we need to get into, the transactional details of everyday financial transactions, such as, buying a car, buying a house, how they should approach college finances, learning about student debt before they're already deep in it. And we need to, get them prepared for the fine print in life, to learn to read those nitty-gritty details that matter. And we're not teaching that right now. So these big dollar transactions in life, many students are jumping into it with very little preparation. So we need to focus on teaching them about how these financial products work at an early stage, so that they can be prepared and make a better decision when it comes to choosing them. So the big takeaway here is to more so review your finances on a regular basis, reflect on it, and take a look at what you need to do and what next steps you could take, and consider taking them, and maybe you improve your finances for the better.
Again, the biggest takeaway here is to save, and save your money, and to try to teach your kids the same as they grow up. Feel free to check out their social media pages or their website if you'd like more info. All right, well, as Alzheimer's progresses, the person experiencing it can definitely become more and more detached from reality. This can unfortunately affect their ability to control emotions and distinguish between what's real and what's not. Our team decided to speak with a behavioral expert in the field of Alzheimer's disease and related dementias to learn all about it. So here's today's Health Check segment.
My name's Lisa Skinner, and I'm here to talk to you about what it's really like to live day to day with Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. There is kind of a myth that everybody who suffers from Alzheimer's disease and dementia becomes very agitated, very angry, and even aggressive. Agitation and anger is, yes, a common behavior of dementia. The person who's suffering from Alzheimer's disease is experiencing dramatic changes in their brain, and one of the signs and the symptoms is agitation. They live in a very confused world, and they're not receiving the communication signals the same way they did when their brains were healthy. So if you do have a loved one who is suffering from Alzheimer's disease and they do get agitated, my number one recommendation is stay calm. Don't react to the anger. Don't take it personally. And I know that's a very difficult thing to do because that's our gut reaction, is to go on the defensive. But it's just going to escalate the situation into a more serious situation. One thing that I think is really important to understand is because of the changes that are going on in the brain, people lose their ability to communicate the way they did when they were healthy to us. They oftentimes can no longer articulate or verbalize their wants and their needs. And about 50% of the people suffering from dementia are very aware of their cognitive decline, and this is frustrating for them. So becoming agitated isn't necessarily equated with being difficult or trying to be difficult or being mean. They're trying to tell us something. And this is their way of telling us that they have a want or a need that needs to be fulfilled. So what we really have to do in this situation is kind of put our detective hats on and try to figure out, get to the core of the trigger of the agitation and try to diffuse it before it escalates into a more serious situation where they become aggressive. So we always want to check for environmental triggers, like, are they too hot? Are they too cold? Then we want to look for obvious things like, are they feeling well? Are they experiencing some pain? So you kind of have to go through a process of elimination to figure out if the agitation that you're seeing was triggered due to an unmet need. And that's the first thing you look for. Once all of those things are eliminated, then there's still an underlying reason, but you just have to keep digging deeper and deeper until you can kind of get to the core of what is causing the behavioral issue.
Feel free to check out Truth Lies in Alzheimer's, Its Secret Faces for more information. All right, well, that's all of our time for now. We want to thank you again so much for joining us today, and be sure to tune in again next time on Valley por Vida. We'll see you then.